Hello and good day, and welcome to another episode of the 40k Meta Chasers, Warhammer Meta Chasers, as we like to be called. We spread ourselves far and wide in lieu of the great man himself, Mr. Paul Mercy, being missing right now. We have the corpse of Sanguinius joining us as one of our panelists today. How you doing there, Sanguinius? Fair enough.
Yep,
Hello,
sounds
Dustin.
good.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing better than Sanguinius, apparently. I'm doing pretty good right now. We thought this was pretty suitable when he's
Uh,
not here, right? This is going to be his new pick?
yeah, this will be his new pick.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have some valiant lion, pick. Just an actual lion, not the lion, just a lion. It's fine. Anyway, we are here, and it's going to be a little bit of a different show. So we had planned to do the full, usual main show on the breakdown of the Boise Cup, the Northwest Open, and then there was another fantastic event in Vietnam we were hoping to get stats for. But unfortunately, 2 out of 3 of those 3 events do not have factions and lists unlocked in time. So we have flipped the script, and in lieu of the part 2 we usually record for our patrons, we're going to be recording and streaming live the part 2 extended for all of you. So hopefully you'll see a little bit of what you can get on the other side behind the paywall if you are so inclined. And if not, you're going to see a beautiful look back at the Baltic Cup, FLG's Lone Star Open. And in addition, we have the stats and the rundown from Tacoma, the US Open Series. Dustin, how do you feel about the week that was in 40K?
I mean, the podiums were awesome. It was very diverse, and it was very unexpected. I feel like the meta, like we talked about it before, but we're in such a good place in the meta right now. It is damn near impossible to predict who's going to win these events.
It is. Even the argued 2 best factions in the game, that being Sisters and Blood Angels, which has been backed up by statistics from a couple of different places, are not even podiuming that consistently in the current state of the game. They're top 10ing with a lot of consistency, but I mean, nothing. There is no one faction that gives you a demonstrably better chance at hitting a faction than hitting a podium than any other faction.
Yeah,
and that is just
it's
so
incredible.
good.
It's coming so much further down to player skill, list building skill, and the matchups with missions. Like it's. You just need to practice this mission pack right now because it is very different from the previous one. The lists need to look a lot different. You're going to need a lot more random action monkeys in there, like a lot of chaff, unless you're just planning to table your opponent, which is a lot harder to do right now.
Yes, it is. And like the state of the game wise, I think a few minor tweaks and this thing is as good as it's going to get. Like I'd like to see the Triumph of St. Catherine hiked right up there. Let's put some more points on that. And then and a couple of other little bits and pieces. Like I still don't like that 18 race can just unga through the entire middle matchups of the game. Then they'll get absolutely blocked out of the top 5 by a couple of top factions, but they can just stat check their way through a bunch of different things very easily. Mind you, so many Necron players, especially when now it's in the WTC lists, have switched over to Hypercrypt, which is extremely exciting.
Hypercrypt just feels a lot better with this mission pack. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly right. And in saying that, next week's entire show will be the full WTC singles and teams breakdown. We'll have the Warmaster singles full statistical breakdown plus lists, and then we will have the Slobber Knocker, the World Championships of Team 40K national international competition breakdown for the 8-pack WTC challenge.
Basically,
so
it's our biggest show, I think.
It's our biggest show of the year. It's between that and the LVO. Although I assume the what GW have brewing over in Atlanta every year in November
that is going to
become one of our biggest shows also.
Yep, for sure.
Shout out in chat. If you do not know, we do this show live, and thank you very much to everyone who's joining us in chat. Aaron has just said, damn, Paul's really let himself go. Well, I guess you could say that. He's been pretty choked for strapped for time, so to speak.
Wow. I was just going to say he hasn't cut his hair in a while.
That too. But anyway, enough of the chicanery. Let's get into a nice look back at the Baltic Cup 12 from Altenholz, Germany. Did I do that sufficiently?
Without the accent, sure. Yeah, we'll take it. Try with the German accent. Let's see your German accent. Let's go.
No, you do it.
You can do it. Come on.
110 players, 5 rounds. What was that top 10, Dustin?
The top 10 was 2 Dark Angels, 2 Tyranids, 1 Necron, 1 Blood Angel, 1 Demon, 1 Drakari, 1 GSC, and a CSM.
Yeah, not a crazy breakdown there. No sisters, so no Adeptus Sororitas on that top 10. 2 Dark Angels, not unexpected. 1 Blood Angels as well. Double Tyranids. So Tyranids are starting to really pick up steam. So momentum is really building behind that faction. You able to break that down for us or give us some insights?
The actual top 3 that won this thing?
No, the Tyranids. What is building for Tyranids and how they're getting going.
So Tyranids right now, I feel like you can build anything because their adjustments made them really good. Vanguard it's the one that was easily made the strongest because it had the most changes to it with all the new Vanguard keywords that went through. The synapse changes, like they just got ridiculously strong. You're going to see a lot more Molochs and Trigons. Molochs especially, you're seeing them pop up everywhere and down and pop up and down and up and down. So that detachment has gotten really strong, but I feel like Invasion Fleet has still got so much power behind it, and it's so popular because it's just good at everything. And it can...
Well, every week, I've been looking at quite a few Tyranid lists every week when I'm doing the stats for the show, and it's actually very rarely the Vanguard lists that make the top 10.
Yeah.
It's much more likely to be the Synaptic and the Invasion Fleets that make the top 10.
Yeah, the Vanguard is just... It feels like it should be better, but it's definitely a higher skill cap army. Like the detachment.
That, and it's somewhat like you don't really have the beef in your army when it's a bad matchup.
No,
so it's either you can scrap in a yellow or an even matchup and usually get a win, or you're going to have it all your way and dominate, or you're going to get smoked.
Exactly, because its defensive abilities are not very, but they are. Your opponent can play around
mediocre,
mediocre at best, as we like to say as Stutter Scrub. They are. They're easily played around because you just get close enough to them, or you just don't move a certain distance, or you move too far, so their reactive move doesn't do anything. While the Invasion Fleet 5-up Feel No Pain, that's just good no matter what.
Good.
It also means you can put Maliceptors in the list because Maliceptors with a 5-up Feel No Pain are just a nightmare to shift.
Yeah.
And then with Synaptic, you have Armor and Contempt with your Synapse creatures, which is very frustrating to deal with when you have a 2-up save Tyrant or the Norns in there too. It could be really annoying with that.
Agreed. Okay, so if you guys do not know how this works, at the end of every event that we look at the stats for, look at the faction podium for, we will cast a vote for what we think as the hosts and the chasers of the meta will get a podium finish. And we give ourselves a couple of points for picking the right one. And this constructs our little inter-host competition every month, where we tally how well we've all done, hang some nonsense and some hazing on each other. How do I say that without saying that we bully each other? Because we don't. We take the piss out of each other. We bag each other out. Some good camaraderie comes from it and banter. I picked Dark Angels. Dustin picked Adeptus Mechanicus, and Paul picked Astra Militarum. And I got 2 points because our podium in our top 3 finish was Demons
winning it.
Okay. Dark Angels and Drukhari. So 2 of those things are not like the other. Dark Angels absolutely expected to do well at every event in the world right now, but Demons and Drukhari, what is going on there?
Well, Demons got a buff. Like, they are a lot better, and I feel like if you get them in the hands of a good player, they can be frustrating to play against. And in this mission, or this mission pack specifically, they have so much mission play with the uppy downy 3-inch deep strike. They can go anywhere within the shadow, being anywhere within Greater Demons. They can do anything they need to on a whim. So like they can be anywhere they need to. They can just kill anything they need to, and they can put things they need in deep strike. It is actually a ridiculously powerful army in this mission pack. But again, high skill cap because you have to,
high skill and you have to maintain pressure.
Yes, you have to maintain pressure. That's important.
Yeah, as soon as you let up, like your army can just kind of disappear. But in saying that, so after every event and on the look back in part 2, which is usually what you'll be seeing right now, is usually behind a paywall for patrons only. So please come over to all the stuff on screen, Warhammer Meta Chasers, and sign up for the 2nd tier of our Patreon. You will get access to what you're listening to right now, pretty much every week. I got 2 points, and is this the last week of the month, mate? And we should have WTC be its own beast.
WTC should definitely be its own beast. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the last week of the month. Yes. Sorry, Dustin, you didn't do very well.
No, but you know what? If I just won every month, because I won every month until like the last 2-3 months, it wouldn't be entertaining to listen to. So I have to be better for the patrons. I have to be better. That's just the whole thing.
Be better, Dustin.
Be better.
It's almost like when GSC isn't good, Dustin isn't good.
Right? Maybe that's actually
lying in wait.
I have to. Yeah. I have to just go to the next major. What's the next major? CCBB. Maybe I need to go there and win with GSC, and then just everything else switch on its head again.
Because we had such a extremely unique podium here, I did pull out both of these first and third place lists for your viewing pleasure. And we're going to unpack them for you right now. Let's go over to the Demons list.
I will say that
This
in
one,
terms of Drukhari, like I'm not surprised that they're podiuming because I play them a lot. They're good. So
yeah. Oh, well, I've been waiting for Drukhari to show that they have all the tools that Eldari have now. They're at a points level where they can just take like infinity good units, but without like they have just better melee instead of the shooting that Eldari have. Sorry, I'll leave all this for when we get to the
yeah.
Drukhari
Sorry,
list, next one.
I just felt like I didn't say anything about
spiel.
Drukhari when you asked me. It bugged me. I had to say it. Go ahead. This is demons we're talking about now.
So this is Nicholas Fritzchen. How did I do?
Just go to the list.
Fritzchen. You say it.
No, you go to the list. It's okay.
All right. Chaos Demons, Demonic Incursion. Freaking Be'lakor, who I've always considered attacks. And now that I assumed people would be dropping Be'lakor, I'm very surprised to see him, especially in a top place list. Fate Weaver, Changeling, the Mask of Slanesh, a Keeper of Secrets with the Soul Stealer, a lot of change with the Everstave, 2x10 Demon Nets, of course, to be delivered by the Keeper of Secrets now. Now the Keeper of Secrets can do stuff like that. Demon Nets all of a sudden feel a lot better. 10 Pink Horrors, 10 Plague Bearers, 3 Nurglings, and 2x3 Screamers, which I actually am coming around heavily to the Screamers personally. What do you make of this list, mate?
I was thinking the same thing you were. I thought Be'lakor was attacks. I really did. Although I guess he does have the can't shoot outside of 18, like the lone op bubble, which is pretty good. But like we were saying earlier, we do want to have a lot of pressure with demons in order to do this. But with 20 demonettes, 10 pinks, ironically, can be ridiculously hard pressure if you really wanted to.
So annoying.
And 10 plague bears, the same thing. Plus, you having a Keeper Secret shove, the Lord of Change will be more of your, not backfield, but further back. Everything in this list does want to move forward for the most part, or at least zone, but control the board.
Yeah.
So it does
make
sense.
Like that it's... I really like the small characters it's got in here. I like the Changeling coming in here. Just having a lone op in Pariah Nexus just seems to be a hugely powerful thing to do. In fact, I would highly suggest everybody and anybody who has any decent value lone ops in their army, just in their faction, just gets them into their lists ASAP. The Mask of Slanesh is not a character that I have any idea what it does. I'm just going to quickly read it off for people because I've looked it up. Movement 9, toughness 3, 4 wounds, 4 up invulnerable save. In combat, 6 attacks at 4/1/2 with devastating wounds. The Eternal Dance. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within 6 of this model until the end of that phase. Each time a friendly Slanesh Demonica model makes an attack, melee attack that targets that unit, add 1 to the wound roll, so +1 to wound in within 6 inches. That's really nice. And each time model in that enemy unit makes a melee attack, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So +1 to wound against them, or -1 for them to wound you. And they're able to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. And a movement 9, that is pretty swift. I actually quite like that.
Oh, it's a freaking...
Because
it's a neurothroat. Not a neurothroat. Neurolictor.
Neurolictor. Doesn't have the battle shock shenanigans the Neuro has on top of that stuff. But the fact is, that's something that allows Demonets to actually do relevant damage, +1 to wound. And then in addition, it's really good insulation for protecting some of the things in combat against your opponent should things go awry versus, say, Blood Angels that start getting on top of you. -1 to wound on Lamardi's unit, fighting into a Keeper of Secrets that has 4+ inborn 6, I feel no pain. All of a sudden, that gets really wonky. Really wonky.
That gets really annoying. Wow, actually, I really like that. Huh.
So yeah, I actually think that's very cute. That's a very cute tech piece.
I really like it. It's Be'lakor bugs me in this, and it obviously did well. You can't question it. It's just Be'lakor bugs me.
Also, the Mask is a lone up as well. So there's 2 small lone up characters. So Changeling and the Mask are both lone up.
How many points is the message?
So that's the skew. That's the skew. We've unlocked it. Be'lakor giving the lone up aura, and then 2 small lone up characters, each of which could be pushed onto a mid-board objective in order to force an investment from your opponent, or be sitting on your backboard objective while the rest of your army moves up in Bellacor's bubble. Right. I actually now that I've unpacked that, I actually quite like that a lot.
Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. In fact, that gives you a lot of flexibility in matchups that you do need to be aggressive, and when you don't need to be, you can stay safe. Like if you're against a Tau army or something that just wants to sit back and shoot you, like, well, no, You come to me, I'll just step
Yep.
up with my little lone up guys, hit my objectives, and if you do step up, you die to damn nets.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm just going to tie up and tap everything you got in your army. Like I was saying, I really like Screamers at the moment. The move 14 on them, and the fact that they're T4 3 wins with a 4-up invuln, they're not hit extremely hard. They got good quality attacks. Like they're 6-2-2 in combat with 3 attacks, but they only hit on 4s. So a unit of 3 of them has 9 attacks, and you get like 4 hits or 5 hits, who cares? But they do still have the sweep when they fly over, and I just like that how fast they are. They are something like your Zangor Enlightened, I guess, in T-Sun's list, but they're far more durable. And I think they bring something very unique to the demons because there's something that actually is very wonky for your opponent offensively. Like you need 6 damage, 3 guns to that wound to effectively kill these guys, because 3 wounds each and a 4+ invuln. And then yeah, small arms fire can really bounce off or do nothing at all. So I actually quite like their addition also. But let's jump down to Pow. Poenskin.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely that. Definitely what I said.
Definitely that.
Definitely what I said. That's definitely the guy's name. Do not call him anything else. Dustin, why don't you read this one off for us?
I like reading off some Sky Splitter assaults. So we got 3 Archons, one with the Nightmare Shroud, Beastmaster, Drazar, Lilith, 10 Cabalites, 5 Racks, 10 Witches, 2 Raiders, 3 Venoms, a Court of the Archon, a Chronos, 10 5/5 Incubi, 5 Mandrakes, and 3x5 Scourge. This is literally just everything that's good in Drukhari. That's aside from they didn't bring any planes.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not on board with the planes just yet.
I'm annoyed with the planes. I don't think they're the way to go. I just hate them.
Exactly. I feel like they are a frustration piece rather than a game-winning piece, unlike the Tiger Shark and the Storm Ravens have been so far in this edition. And for the amount of points that you pay for just something that's just like a nuisance, like I don't love them. I don't love them.
I feel like they were actually really good when out of line of sight shooting was really strong, because then you could just get rid of it. But now that it's kind of a thing of the past, they're not as necessary. Like this list just has everything they need. Again, because that getting rid of 1-2 flyers gives you like 5 or 6 of these pieces.
A lot of people have been asking in different chats, what's the deal with the Court of the Archon? Like, why are people taking the Court of the Archon? Because rarely does the court get... Sorry, what?
Bruh.
Tell us the story. Exactly. Tell the people.
Court of the Archon is so frustrating to fight against. A big thing with this is it fights first.
Yep.
And it actually could do a lot of attacks. It's also very durable, because it has a lot of wounds. It has invulns. Like there's a debate for a lot of Drukhari players to take 2 of them. The problem is they're very pain token hungry.
Oh, that's right, because they don't do any damage without the pain tokens.
Yeah, they need,
because they've got a lot of different types of weaponry, and they're all, some are good, some are bad. None of them are always.
They have to have.
Unless you're fighting. Yeah, unless you're punching Hormigans, some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad. Yeah,
exactly. Like with the rerolls, -1 to wound, lethal hits. They can do a lot of damage because they fight first. They're one of these things that can sit on an objective, and you can't charge it safely.
Yeah,
because even if you survive their attacks, the chances of you killing them are pretty slim too. And in the Sky Splitter Assault, they have so many tricks because they'll have Lancer that come out too, so that +1 to wound.
Yeah,
they can get back into it if they really want to. So go in, kill something, get out. All right, we're fine. We'll just go kill somebody else next turn.
So the only interesting thing I can really point out here is that it's 1 or 2 units less of Mandrakes than we're used to. Usually, I'm used to seeing minimum 10, sometimes 15 Mandrakes. But the concessions here is that this player wanted Drazar and Lilith. So Drazar's going with 1 of the unit of Incubi. The Archons are getting split between the other 2 units of Incubi, and I'm assuming one of them is joining the court. I got to assume, because they've essentially got 4 characters, 4 punch characters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Lilith as well. Yeah, Lilith punch character.
Lilith goes with the witches.
And then, of course she goes. Yeah, in one of the raiders. The Cabalites get split up by the Venoms, and you've got 2 Venoms full of 2 Venoms full of Cabalites, 1 with the 5 racks, and then the raiders get either the Incubi or either the 2x5s or the 1x10 Incubi. And then of course you got the Scourges. Like, you just got Scourges. This is just a really well-rounded list. And like I said, this is the other side of the coin to what Eldari's doing at the moment, where they're taking infinity, like medium level shooting units. Like, here's 5 idiots that they're not that cheap anymore, but here's 5 idiots that at any point can do some damage or score any card in the game because they move ridiculous amounts of inches, like, you know, Swooping Hawks and Wolf Spiders. This is the melee version of that. This is like, we have infinity units and we're going to punch you instead of shooting you. And we don't, apart from the 10 incubi, nothing here is really worth trying to protect from, you know, a trade. Anything apart from the 10 incubi could be traded on an objective at the drop of a hat for any other unit in your opponent's army, and you wouldn't feel bad.
Yep.
Like, you legitimately would not feel like you've lost hugely.
For sure.
I mean, I guess 5 incubi and an Archon versus 5 scouts isn't something you love.
Well, no,
but
but
it's going to be a 10-point swing. You go for it anyway.
You won't be angry about it. Like, you'll
yeah,
you'll be a little like salty, but you won't be angry about it.
Yeah, exactly right. And then Scourges for killing transports. I wish there was a little bit more transport killing. I didn't check these Scourges to see if they had Dark Lancers or Haywire, but it's almost a coin flip right now whether you go Dark Lancers or Haywire.
Yeah, I don't even like. Normally, I think you see at least one of each, and then the third one is meta dependent. Usually, it's Dark Lancers just because you have more things you can fight. But there's in teams you go triple Haywire, like every game, because then you can get into those. But I think in singles you have to have at least one Dark Lance unit. Exactly right,
because then you play against triple Ghost Keel, triple Riptide Tower, and you're like, oh no,
monster keyword. Well,
or demons, or the freaking demon list that came first.
That's
and
true.
You're like, well, these guns. Will you let me shoot the demonettes, please? Can I target the demonettes? It's the only other thing this gun might do something into.
I mean, it just people forget it does still have dev wounds. If you do roll 6s,
correct,
it'll hurt anything. But you know, you gotta
living on a prayer.
You gotta roll.
Although I will say, can we go back to the demons list for 1 second?
Oh, because there's one.
There's one model that we're seeing pretty much in every other demons list that isn't in this one. There's no GUO. There's no Great Unclaimed One with the Endless Gift, which I've seen in almost every other top performing demon list.
Wouldn't that be better than
for the last couple of months?
But, yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think it's better than Be'lakor, but not with this skew. This skew is he's pushing a very specific loan op skew here.
That's true.
And well, it worked out. I just need to double check that's not there. But anyway, we can go back to this.
Oh, so much work. Okay.
Chop chop.
You're making me click buttons and stuff.
Sorry, mate.
We had to throw this together last minute. You're making me do more stuff.
Yeah, well, I threw it together last minute as well because I waited until. So if you guys do not know, it usually takes me about 2 hours to 2.5 hours every week to find all the stats and stitch this show together.
Adam
and then
is
probably
the hero we need.
And then another hour to do the part 2 stats and the look back and stuff like that. So it's usually about 4 hours of prep, and then it's about 6 hours worth of content for just to put the show together, the 2 parts of the show together every week. And I was waiting up until the last freaking minute for these lists to come live for the Boise Cup and the Northwest Open that we wanted to cover. And then I had to scrap it and be like, they're not going to be live in time. And then we had to pivot and decided to put the part 2 content up for you. So we're malleable. We're flexible. We chase the meta wherever the meta needed to be chased, is what I'm trying to say. But very well done to Pow. And these Sky Split Assaults done very well, mate. Let's take us over to the next event,
which is the Lone Star Open.
Lone Star Open from Dallas, Texas, USA. 234 players, 6 rounds. What was that top 10?
Top 10 at Lone Star Open was 2 Orcs, 2 Nids. 2 Nids again. Awesome. I love this. 1 CSM, 1 Eldari, 1 Demon again, 1 Sister. There we go. 1 Astra Militarum, and a Death Guard. So as you can see, the top 10 here is actually even more different than the last one. Like, it's more diverse. Still got 2 Orcs and 2 Tyranids, but everything else aside from the CSM Demons, they're all different than the last one.
It is. It's very, very different. The 2 Nids is the only thing that's exactly the same. Was
there even orcs in the last one? I'm looking. There were no orcs.
I do not believe there was. No orcs.
Like, this is the meta we're in, guys. This is awesome.
Was there any Blood Angels in this top 10? Yeah, no Blood Angels in this top 10. Actually, no Space Marines.
Yeah, no Space Marines at all.
Sans Space Marines. Adeptus Astartes not represented. Heretic Astartes, yes. And they won the damn thing. The CSM won this one. So the podium was CSM, Orcs, and Tyranids. And our picks were, I picked CSM. Yep, 3 points. Adam, gold star. Banana sticker. Dustin picked the Necrons. That's a Metalocalypse, reference. You probably wouldn't know it.
Wow.
If anybody in chat knows Metalocalypse and that fantastic cartoon, high fives. Dustin picked Necrons and Paul picked Blood Angels. So, not a great showing for Adeptus Astartes over at Lone Star.
No showing at all.
None. None. The most safe default pick by Paul has not paid out this week. Suffice to say.
Jeez.
It's a very interesting list, that one, though. And we're going to go straight into it because there is a lot to talk about with this list.
Okay.
So this is Derek Apschi.
Don't look at me, man. This ain't German. I don't help.
Apschi. There we go.
I
did
sounds
it.
Good. Yeah.
Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Cult, guys. Chaos Cult. Absolutely unheralded at the top of the meta, let alone winning a multiple 100-player event. So this has Cypher, a Dark Apostle with Amulet of Tainted Vigor, 2 Dark Communes, one with Incendiary Goad, the other one with Warped Foresight, Fabius Bile, 5 units of 10 Cultists, 6 units of 10 Tainted Guardsmen, 110 bodies right there. A Rhino, maximum of Cursed Cultists, so literally 3 by 16. So many bodies, 2 Spawn, and then 10 Demonettes, 3 Nurglings, and 5 Seekers of Slanesh.
It's a horde.
A horde. This is Endless
horde.
Swarm. This is Green Tide, Endless Swarm 2.0, whatever you want to call it. This is the new danger.
No kidding. That's. I'm trying to count how many models. I think that's more models than my Endless Swarm list had before I went
ridiculous.
down to the 40 gargoyles or 60 gargoyles.
Yeah, it's absolutely buck wild. How many models?
It has more models than my GSC. What is going on? What is going on?
It's kind of terrifying. The sheer amount of list being wielded by this here list.
And it's like all OC2, it's fairly durable in all the cases. It can do damage. It's wow. Yep. That's annoying to get rid of. That's annoying to fight.
I'm trying to find my Chaos Space Marines codex so I can tell you what the Chaos Cult does.
Chaos Cult. Oh, the detachment.
Yeah, because it is a hell of a detachment.
Yeah,
I am on the wrong computer. I'll quickly have to go and look it up the other way.
We're going to do this live so everybody can listen.
We are doing this live.
You can listen to Adam think.
We are.
I'm looking for my phone to get my app, and I don't think I brought my phone in my computer with me.
Yeah, so I have my work computer and my content computer, and most of my stuff is on my work computer because I'm lazy like that.
Wait, really? Most of your stuff's on your work computer? That's the opposite for me.
Yep.
Ever get audited by IT? It's like, what's all this Warhammer stuff on here? Like, no. They wouldn't ask that. They know.
They know exactly what it is.
Did you find it? Or are you still looking
I
for it?
did.
Oh, you did?
I'm still looking, but I will find it in one moment.
In one moment. Okay. Well, in the meantime.
Here we go. Oh. All right, detachment rule. Each time a damned unit from your army with the Dark Pact ability is selected to make a normal or advance or declare a charge, excluding units that revive from reserve, it can make a desperate pact. If it does, until the end of the phase, add 2 to the move characteristic and 2 to the charge roll made for it. And each time they make a desperate pact, it must first take a leadership test. If failed, D3 mortal wounds, of course.
Oh, no.
So they are just super swampy, tie you up, just get on top of you, pressure, put you in jail. Yeah, wild. This is really cool. Cultist Jail. Amulet of Tainted Vigor, which is the Dark Apostle enhancement. In your command phase, you can return up D3 destroyed damned models to the bearer's unit, so regenning models. And of course, I do believe, I'm going to quickly check in a moment whether the Dark Apostle can join the Accursed Cultists.
I thought that's what he could do. That was the whole...
He can, yeah. So he's going to be joining and regenning Accursed Cultists, because there's only 2 of the commands, Thingy command squads. There's only 2 Dark Communes, so the Apostle's going with the 3rd of those. So that makes a lot of sense. And then Incendiary Goad, which is on one of the whatever I just said.
Incendiary Goad, the Dark Commune.
Dark Communes. We're a professional outfit here.
We're getting there. We are a very professional outfit, as you can see this.
While the bearer's unit is below its starting strength, add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons, and below half strength, add 1 to attacks as well.
Wow!
So it's not. And of course, with the Accursed Cultists, you have all the little idiots to kill off before, and then the torments in that unit just go to the absolute stratosphere. And then the other one is Warped Foresight. While the bearer is leading a unit, they have the Scout 6 ability.
Oh my god!
So this list is sick.
That is annoying. If you don't have like anything to deal, or not even anything,
Well,
enough things to deal with aggressive horde, you're just not scoring.
I've been talking about how everyone's just of the assumption hordes are dead.
Oh,
They're like,
God.
oh, Call the Horde has killed hordes, and
What?
and the Swarm and Green Tide got nerfed, and they're dead. GSC's nerfed. There's no good horde list. There's no good horde list. La, 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 la. This tells you to absolutely mind your own business and get 20'd. And like, this list is ridiculous. Naturally, it really wants to go first. Like, really wants to go first.
Really wants to go first.
But even going second, essentially the only units you actually have to hide in this, because of course all the demon nets can go in reserve. Only units you want to really hide is the accursed cultist units. You would hate to have those get dunked on too early. But then you just got infinity cultists and tainted guardsmen, and be like, shoot him. I don't care. Whatever, man. Blow him up.
The funny part about this list, though, like it's gonna put people in jail. It's gonna prevent them from scoring completely. But it is so susceptible to being put in jail itself.
Correct.
Like if it goes second against like a wolf jail or hell rusted claw jail, like the bike jail, there's so many things that are just like no, you don't get to score, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And whilst the accursed cultists are pretty dang deadly, they're not deadly to everything. No. They're only wielding AP1. Like they're only like the torments have D6 plus 2 attacks each, which is a lot, but they're only strength 5 minus 1 2 damage. So they're very susceptible to 2+ saves or armor contempts. So those Thunderwolves, going first, putting them in jail, they're not going to punch through them.
No,
they just the Thunderwolf units are just going to take 3 ups and with a bunch of wounds probably just get through that just fine, unless there's 2 or 3 units of them going in, of course.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. This is one that is very susceptible to being pressured because it only has 3 alpha units, so to speak, 3 units that will, that will go through them. And then we've all exchanged our freaking Apothecary, Biologists, and Aggressors for the Eradicators. And this list laughs at your Eradicators.
That's hilarious. Have fun killing cute. A spawn.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's so cute of you. But yeah, the meta has, people have just assumed hordes are dead, and bang, here we go. Horde army won a 240 odd player super major. Well done to Derek. All right, we have one more event to cover, and of course we didn't cover this on the main show last week, but that was because their lists went live. But this was the biggest event of last week, and because I had 400 plus players, we're gonna have a look at it. This is the US Open Series Tacoma. And I can't remember exactly how many rounds it was. I just put in 8 there because I'm like, 8's a nice number.
8 sounds good. Maybe 9. 8.5.
What was in our 8.5. Like platform 9 3/4. What was in our top 10, mate?
We had 2 T-Suns. Actually, the first time we've seen T-Suns at the top 10 for this review. 1 Orc, 1 Sister, 1 Space Wolf, same thing. 1 Votan again. That's another new one. 1 Tyranid. So Tyranid's in every single top 10. That's amazing. 1 Dark Angel and 1 Astral Military. So again, the top 10 is diverse and different from the other events. That this meta, my guy, this meta.
It's a beautiful thing, dude. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, sorry, and a towel. I forgot the towel. It's on the second page here. Or third page.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Fourth
it's on,
page.
Yeah.
Whatever page I'm on, it's not on that.
So much data.
So much data. And a towel was the first one to show up on here too.
We didn't cover this on the main show last week, so I just put in our default picks, so our mean picks, which for me is Dark Angels, for Paul is Blood Angels, and for Dustin is Tyranids and or GSC. As seeing as GSC is the worst army in the game, I did him a solid and gave him Tyranids.
I appreciate it.
Which resulted in him getting 1 point.
Got it.
Because Tyranids came in 5th, Dark Angels came in 6th, so you just pipped me there.
Yeah,
but once again, no Blood Angels in that top 10.
Yeah, what happened with that? Like Blood Angels, okay. We've talked about this before. Dark Angels, I feel like, are a bit more forgiving of an army right now. Blood Angels do have trouble into certain matchups in certain missions too.
Yeah,
they can do hard pressure and they do hard killing. But if you have a list that has maybe a lot of transports that it can't pop, or just more trading pieces that are capable of killing yours, you run out of resources too quickly with Blood Angels.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Funnily enough, like I actually quite like, even though like the damage profiles on Votan aren't like their weapon profiles aren't amazing into marine bodies. That's one of the matchups I actually like into like. Well, I'm not necessarily saying that Votan are going to go out and beat Blood Angels. What I'm saying is they're one of the lists that won't get run over by them, like absolutely. Auto run over. And it's same for like Chaos Space Marines. Same for Tau. Like I've seen Blood Angels actually really struggling to Tau in some matchups. And these are the Tau lists that have like triple hammerhead ion,
Right.
triple riptide, triple stealth suit. And then some of those, dude, some of the crisis bombs you can do now with the Sunforged and or Farsight and the Burst team, or is it the Flamer team? I can't remember, but I've seen the math and they're just like, get out of here.
I think it's the Burst team you're thinking of.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was that goes with Farsight, but that in the red cadre, that is a very sick little drop. And you use that as the counter drop to their drop. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to drop in with Lamarty's squad and go and kill this screen. And you're like, ha! Peasants. Command squad. Crisis team. Really cool. So Orcs, Sisters, and Votann was our podium here, first, second, and third.
Crazy.
And we've got the Votann list to unpack for you. So the Sisters list was pretty much what you'd expect. Triple Casti, a couple of Immolators, bunch of Dominions, Seraphim, and Morvenn Vahl and the Triumph. So not much to unpack there. And so wanted to look at the Votann list. Let's have a quick gaze. This is Chuck Arnett. Lovely gentleman. He's an absolute heartthrob. He's such a sweetheart, and I'm a big fan. One of the OGs back in the day from that Best in Faction podcast, of which was one of my very first, competitive content pieces that I was really enamored with. And I've got some very strong friends in that crew also. But his Leagues of Votann Oath band comes with an Ironmaster, 2 Ironhead Champions, a Grimnir with Appraising Glare, 2 Sagittars, 6 Thunderkin, of course, with their Grav, 2x5 Berserks, 2x5 Hearthguard, 2 Landforts, and then 6 3/3 Pioneers. So no Jaegers, which is kind of the bigger mission here.
Mm-hmm. The new blood. But didn't get in there. Maybe didn't have any. But at the same time, it did well enough. And this is still a list that Votann has been able to build for a long time, and it's still really good. And it's in this meta. It might actually start to thrive a little bit more. I like the big Thunderkin unit. I really like that actually.
Yeah, the Thunderkin and the Grimnir joins the Thunderkin. Oh no, he can't join him. He has to join the Hearthkin Warriors. So the Grimnir's rocking that by himself. But whilst it's leading a unit, you improve the toughness of the unit by 1. Once per battle, after this unit fails a battle shock test, you can unbattle shock them. But it's the Thunderkin are the odd pick here. So I really rate Thunderkin in the current meta, but I don't see a huge amount of Votann players willing to commit to playing them because they usually cost you like one of your Hearthguard units, the big issue here is like Chuck has pretty much taken them instead of taking another 5 Hearthguard, and he hasn't taken any battle line. This is a Sans battle line list. He hasn't taken any which
in Votann is crazy
Hearthkin.
to think of. But...
It is. Yeah, it is absolutely wild. And that's pretty much the reason I wanted to pull this out. I wanted to talk about it. He's a little bit heavier on the bikes. Usually we see 333, but 633, I really likes 1 unit of 6 Pioneers. I think they're extremely good. And when you add that to the fact that he's got the Thunderkin, usually they're going to go in reserve. They'll walk on and they'll just kill every transport they can see. They're all just dead, and or every knight they can see, they're all just dead too. Like I've lost knights to Overwatch to them on the regular. I've had to sacrifice knights to their Overwatch to try and get another knight into them, and then tank shocked, fought, and only killed like 4 of them, and then they've fallen back for 1 CP and killed that knight. And I'm like, well, shit. So I think Thunderkin in the current meta are extremely palatable.
Yeah, I actually really like them too. Seeing 6 of them, they actually do a lot of damage. Well, actually, you know what they're really good at? Killing battle line. Like, really good at killing battle line.
Yeah.
The other 2, 3 mans, they're your uppy downy for a mission play, and they can kill stuff if they need to. That's exactly. If there any army who has innate uppy downy like this, you need at least 1 or 2 units of like scouts, raveners, pioneers, whatever you have access to. If you have access to it, you take at least 1 or 2. And in this mission pack, at least in my opinion, because it gives you so many options for mission play.
And it's a bit of a confidence pick by Chuck. It's Chuck pretty much flexing his faction speciality here because he hasn't taken a single screen, hasn't taken a single unit of battle line. He has pretty much no fat on this list, as in there's nothing really disposable. Everything's kind of necessary. You have to conserve as many resources as you can throughout the game because everything is a useful tool. He's got 5 trading units ostensibly, but none of them are cheap trading units. They're Berserkers and Hearthguard for going and trading on objectives. The Pioneers, especially the 6, need to be kept quite safe, especially in a lot of matchups where where they're your heavy DACA unit into things like infantry. And then you have the landforts who have to go for big targets. They have to. If the Thunderkin aren't on the table, like turn 1 or turn 2, they have to be the things that kill transports for you. And yeah, I think this is a really confident Votann army because it has just trimmed all the fat away in order to take just good units, nothing but good units.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I like this list a lot. I think it's, and like I said, the 6th Thunderkin, I love it in this meta. So I think this is no surprise that he podiumed with this list, especially with a faction specialist. It's very well designed, and I love that it did well.
Excellente. Well, my man, that brings us mostly to the end of the show. And because it's the end of the month, we're going to do the end of month points. So I've tallied up all the points from our previous part 2s from our picks, and we will see which one of the Meta Chasers reigns supreme this here month. In 3rd place, Dustin Henshaw.
Nailed it.
With 2 points.
Nailed it.
For the month.
Nailed
it. In 2nd place, this guy with 6. And in 3rd place...
You mean 1st place?
Sorry, 1st place. The guy who wasn't on 2 of the shows.
And got most of his points on the show he wasn't on first.
And scored 9 points in 1st place. We can't let him keep getting away with this, Dustin.
No.
He's done it to us 2 months now. It's just like, Blood Angels are good. Blood Angels. And he's just like,
hey, I stole away from him in the one event, and he didn't get the points for it. And I'm happy about that.
That was good. We did. Yeah, we did. So yeah, Paul has won the last 2 months, pretty much just default picking to his Blood Angels auto pick and just absolutely Icarusing into the sun, straight into the sun with the points. So well done to Paul. He's the dead guy on the left. That guy won our points. That's how bad that's how bad Dustin and I are doing.
Yeah.
Dead Sanguinius outscored us.
What can you do,
Mind you look a bit like Horace. Could you choke out Sanguinius, you reckon?
I think I could.
Yeah,
you know what?
I reckon.
In the lore, it might have actually been me. You just don't recognize me.
Well, so there are three Primarchs you distinctly look like.
Really? Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Well, 4 technically if you add in the twins, because all of Alpharis, Omegon, Lorgar, and Horus all apparently looked extremely similar.
Huh.
As in, they're all, big bald dudes.
Well, importantly, though, I did nothing wrong. So, I'm not mad.
Definitely did nothing wrong. But on that note, we are pretty much done. Do you want to do a 2-person fuego?
Of course we do.
Want to do a 2-guy fuego? We'll do 1 minute per thing, or we'll just do it until we're done. And definitely, people in chat, you are highly encouraged to participate.
Because it's just a silly little. I had another one ready to go, but we have to wait for Paul for that one. We can't do that one without Paul. So this one is so randomly put together. So random. All right.
KR Quinn did throw out Lorgar there. If you don't have enough skull tattoos.
I don't. I actually...
Up your game.
I'm telling you right now, if I ever go to WCW, the narrative event, I will be dressing up as a cheese.
Oh, yes, please do. Put some ridges.
I'll put some ridges on, and I'm done. That's
all. Just stick a 3rd arm to your back.
Yep.
I
think
have it holding a little box cutter.
I have an ongoing deal with Scar that eventually we are both going to go to the narrative instead of the competitive.
Yes, do it. All right. Animal facts. I'm ready.
Animal facts. These are
Better be some drop bears.
These are all absolute facts. You cannot dispute them once we discuss them. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Cats.
Yeah. Well, would they even talk to you though? Is that being rude or just ignoring you?
Yeah. I mean, there are birds that can talk and are quite rude.
I think that's more the owner's fault than the bird's fault.
They know what they're doing.
Or the environment they're in.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, geese.
Geese. That's rude. The one. Yeah. No.
They would just be like, whatever lawn they're on, they're just running at you, screaming, "Get off my lawn!"
Yeah.
And they're like, "This is my house.
Yeah, geese.
I own this property. Get off my house."
100% geese. No, there's no better answer than geese. I'm down with that one. We are going for geese. Okay. Next one. What should be an everyday domesticated pet but isn't? Geese. No, it's definitely not geese.
We should have started many years ago if we wanted any help on that.
Yeah.
What should be domesticated but isn't?
What do you want as a pet? Well, what do you think should be a pet?
Well, see, what I want as a pet and what should be a pet are two very different things.
Yeah. This is what should be. So.
Otters. Otters and other otter-like animals that we have domesticated, like ferrets, guinea pigs-esque, small furry mammals.
Otters?
Otters could be a cute one. Yeah.
You'd need like a dedicated pool for them.
People got pools.
Now it's no longer a pool. Now you have an otter home.
It's an otter sanctuary.
Otter
sanctuary.
sanctuary.
Otter sanctuary.
Yeah, okay. Monkeys, I think, is actually a pretty standard one because it's not. People don't have monkey pets right now, but they have like monkey helpers. I've heard of that. Oh, you have
the number octopus.
Octopus, man,
extremely intelligent. How useful they could be around the home.
If you could teach it to do stuff, can you teach an octopus tricks?
I don't know. They can open jars.
You know what?
Stuff,
maybe
imagine having a pickle jar and just being like octopus.
There's no way that octopus just opens the lid and doesn't crush the glass jar. There's no way.
Well, then you haven't domesticated them properly, right?
There's ink all over the floor.
It's clear.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna dispute its helpfulness that it would have if you could actually train it, domesticate it properly. So you know what? Maybe that is the right answer. I can go with that. I'll get behind it. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, what would win in a race? A chicken or a pig? And by the way, I've actually looked this up.
I gotta say, a chicken is just straight up faster, but also phenomenally dumber than a pig.
Oh yes,
I grew up with chickens. They're like one of the dumbest things I've ever experienced. So I got to go with the pig for just knowing where it's supposed to go more than a chicken.
Okay, but I mean like pure land speed. If they're both going the same direction for whatever reason, they're fully motivated going in one direction.
Well, there are many different types of pig, and I feel like the variance on pig speed would be way different to the variance. Like the fastest pig might be as fast as the regular chicken, but every chicken's pretty quick. So I'm going the chicken.
Yeah. Anybody in chat got an opinion on this one, of the chicken or the pig?
Someone's throwing out cockroach. I don't know if that's because they wanted to domesticate them, and if they do, I
feel like that's yeah. I've got questions if you want to domesticate a cockroach, because I think there's actually a lot of apartments in the States that have those already domesticated.
Oh yeah, it's just locked in.
Yeah, they're just there.
All right,
they raise them in Thailand, really? Yeah. So the pig is faster than the chicken by I think it was like 1.2 miles per hour on average, like depending on the race of the chicken or type of pig.
Are these like racing pigs?
No.
I'm assuming these ain't big heffing meat pigs.
They are actually like an average pig actually runs really fast.
Yeah, I mean, wild boars, absolutely.
Wild boars for sure. But the thing is,
fast as hell.
The pigs we're used to seeing like farms and stuff, they are capable of that too. They just don't. Don't look at me, man.
Wow.
Google said so.
the meme, the memes, I am speed of like cars, just a giant meat pig, just like a freaking 180-pound meat pig on its side. I am speed.
I am speed. I am speed. Like I love that. In the mud. Right, next up. Right. What animal did the term party animal come from? And no, I don't have the answer to this one. This is opinion. Because I'm actually curious.
I mean, humans.
But we're not. Okay, I mean, maybe we are.
I mean, the term came from humans talking about your mate who just gets absolutely blotto and turns into a bit of a lunatic. You're like, oh, you're a party animal, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but if it came from an animal, what animal would it come from?
Oh, okay. Theoretically. In mystical land.
Humans didn't count. Where did we get this term party animal from?
It would 100% be like an ape, like a chimpanzee or a orangutan or, yeah.
Chimpanzee, I could see, yeah.
They have to be able to show mirth, like to be able to demonstrate joy.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have to be enjoying yourself to be a party animal? Is that a requirement? Or you
I
just,
guess you have to be able to be aware that you're at a party, I guess.
or do you just need to
Yeah,
be
no, not
rambunctious?
necessarily.
No, I mean, like your answer is right. I think it's just what is the criteria for it? Because if they're talking about just being really rambunctious, chimpanzee, yeah, I would definitely associate somebody that was going crazy at a party with a chimpanzee. I could see that.
And just like my mate who gets absolutely, S-faced, chimp right up there.
Chimp,
Like, they do some messed up stuff too.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You know what? I think that's the best answer. I can't think of a better one. So.
Although,
Oh.
like, dolphin is a good one.
Oh, that's true. Actually, that's true.
Mm.
They definitely show mirth too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, orcas in general, like, sinking yachts, passing around blowfish to have a good time.
Huh. Okay. Well, they're the party animals of the sea, and then the chimpanzees.
But,
of the sea.
yeah.
Okay. There we go. We got it.
Yeah.
We
I'm going to go orangutans. over
orangutan
chimps.
specifically. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take it. And then the last.
Chimps are a
one-
bit too
Oh,
damaged.
you have experiences. Okay. And the last but not least, Animal Kingdom superhero movie. What is the hero and what is the villain, animal wise? And they have to be different.
So
They have to
it's
be
got-
different.
Yeah, it's got to be a marketable
Yes,
animal.
it has to be marketable.
So it's an animal that kids will want to go watch because obviously it's probably most likely to be a kids movie.
So who would be?
Dog is the crappiest pick, so we're not going to do
No, we're
dog
not
or
doing
cat.
dog or cat.
We're doing something interesting.
Yeah.
Because so it can either be an unlikely and very cute animal, or a heroic animal. I assume these are our two best options for marketability.
Yeah.
And widespread appeal.
Okay.
So awkward animal, number 1, penguin.
Ooh.
If Happy Feet taught us anything, people love penguins.
That's true. That's true.
So superhero penguin could be very funny.
Superhero penguin. Okay.
Also, the Madagascar penguins, they're already lined up. Let's just put a suit on them and
All
make
right,
that into
all
a
right.
trope.
So what are the Madagascar penguins fighting? What are they saving the world against?
So it needs to be a believable and intelligent
Yes.
beastie.
Beastie. Like
Can't be too cute.
it should be intelligent.
Yeah.
Owl.
Well, like dog, we're going to throw out snake. No cold-blooded,
Mhm.
straight off the bat. Yeah, straight off the bat.
Dorian, that's just
It's just-
Lion
it's just
King, man.
too-
Lion
too
Hero
dumb.
Hyenas enemy.
Yeah.
That's Lion King.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Can't
with
go
it, right?
wrong.
For the same reasons that I just reeled off friggin' penguins.
True.
For all the same 3 other shows they've been in. Lion versus hyena. Sweet, let's do it. Actually, let's reverse that. Let's have good guy hyenas, bad guy lions. That would be
Ooh.
good. That'd be good.
Ooh, that'd be awkward to watch.
It would. It'd be yuck.
That would be very awkward to watch. It's not marketable.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it has to be somewhere where, if it's going to be penguins, it has to be somewhere where penguins reside. So it'd be a polar bear,
A polar bear.
a big, beefy, bully polar bear. Because the only other actual predators for penguins is seals, but seals too cute, won't market very well.
But that's
Yeah.
is that too cliche though? Do we want to go outside the box with it?
It's a kids show.
No, I guess that's true. But even more so.
I decided it was a kids show. It doesn't have to be a kids show.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Is not Lion King a metaphor versus from religion? I thought it was Hamlet. I thought literally.
I actually thought it was
just
Hamlet.
with animals.
With animals.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Disney movies that are based on like Shakespeare plays or old stories, old plays, old poems, and just kind of take their own spin on them. Sometimes not at all. They just outright, straight up. This is, that's what it was.
You could do birds, like evil Corvus bird, raven or crow is a great one.
Yeah.
With like a big posse of birds.
Okay.
Like the one I never got is in Ants, where the bad guys were the grasshoppers, the locusts. I can't remember if it was Ants or Bugs Life. Which are
That's
either
Bugs
one of those.
Life.
And the bad guys were the grasshoppers.
Ants,
I'm
they were
like,
termites.
you idiots, you eat those. You see those grasshoppers? Eat them.
Yeah, eat them.
They're literally your food.
Yeah, that one didn't make sense. But I mean, kids show, so
Kids show.
yeah, right.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Who ordered the poo poo platter?
All right. Fuego.
That's the show. That's all of it.
What a show it was.
What a show it was. This is the second part that you don't get very often. We don't usually do fuego on the second part though. This was
correct.
just a special
If you enjoyed this week's chicanery, you can come over to the Warhammer Meta Chasers and get that beautiful part 2 from the second tier down. And hopefully you will join us. Hopefully you enjoyed that look back at the Baltic Cup, the Lone Star Open, and the US Open Series Tacoma. 3 extremely exciting events. Next week's freaking show will be the full WTC breakdown, War Master Singles, and the World Team Championship. Cannot freaking wait, mate. I will be on site streaming that event with War Games Live, every game of the singles, every game of the teams, full like weeks coverage, seven freaking days of 40K.
And he will be this energetic the entire time.
Sorry,
you will be this energetic the entire time too.
I will be.
You will. I'm not being sarcastic. You absolutely will be.
There is no stopping me at that event. I am, the best players in the world playing in one of the best competitive metas we have ever had in the game. It could not be better. This might be the best WTC we have ever had.
That's right.
So come over, join in, enjoy Warhammer Meta Chasers. Dustin, anything you want to say before we check out?
No, just make sure you check us out next week because that show is going to be baller. And then make sure you check out the coverage on all the different channels, no matter what language you want to see it, and there will be some option for you to see it.
Correct, because there are so many different streamers coming. You can have, I think there's French, there's German, there's a British stream, there's multilingual.
There's a Canadian one too.
Yeah,
so like
Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow, who's coming over from Canada?
Tabletop Live.
Oh snap! Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, stupendous stuff.
It's gonna be great. All right, everybody, we will see you next week for sure because you're all gonna be here.